everybody. Welcome back to Pulseo TV's podcast, Probando Fuerza. This is your host, Manuel Sanchez, the face of arm wrestling in Puerto Rico and the voice of the sport in Latin America. Today, we're going back to the cold north because apparently we finally have arrived at the age where we are encountering in our community, in our sports, the future of the arm wrestlers that are going to dominate and be the face and the defenders of America against Europe and the world. So we have a very special guest. I didn't expect I would get a guest like this, but we have a very strong, very talented, very ferocious competitor, a girl from Canada. Her name is Iti. She's 13 years old and she's a champion. Iti, please say hi to the people that are watching us.
Hello, everyone. I'm really happy that I get to be here today and share some things with all of you guys. I'm really happy about this interview and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I'm honored to have you. You're
Thank
very
you so much.
talented, and it's impressive. Impressive,
Thank
you
you.
know. From what I've seen of you, I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed. But first
Thank you.
things first, I want our viewers to know who you are. So please tell me your name and your age.
Okay, so I'm Iti Manchanda and I actually just turned 14 a week ago.
So you're 14 years old now. You were 13, you're 14 years old.
Yeah, I'm 14 now.
Okay. So where from Canada are you?
I'm from Ontario, Waterloo.
John Terian lives in Ontario, right?
Oh, yeah, he does. Yeah.
Yeah, good friend, good people. So now that we know your name, because you pronounce it correctly, because I had to ask before I start, and we know you're 14 years old and you're from Canada, from Ontario. What grade are you in right now?
I'm in grade 9 now. I started high school in September.
Okay, so you start high school in September.
Yeah.
Which school are you going?
I'm going to Laurel Heights, also in Waterloo, of course.
What's your favorite subject in school?
Well, if I had to pick something aside from gym, that's probably going to be history and geography. I love those two.
We have things in common.
Oh,
I also
that's
I
cool.
also like geography and history, and every time I travel, I'm just looking for those things, history and
Yeah.
geography, and to visit places that are weird to people that are from places like I am. I'm from the Caribbean, a small island in the Caribbean, Puerto Rico. So, any hobbies? Anything you do? Any extracurricular activities you do at school?
Yeah, so except from arm wrestling, of course, I do mixed martial arts, boxing and kickboxing, and I love that. And I've been doing it since I was 5. And I also do rugby and shot put. So actually, a couple months ago in my school, we had a shot put competition, and I beat not only the girls but also the guys, and I got the highest score in my whole school. So that was pretty fun. And rugby
And
season
impressive.
is gonna start soon in a couple of months. I'm looking forward to that as well.
So, I'm finding out that in this younger generation, like we have to accept that the sport that we do is a combat sport. It's a non-violent combat sport. So I'm just identifying that the kids that are good and are starting and are doing arm wrestling are also doing boxing, MMA, judo, fighting, fighting sports also. So I will tell you that I have a lot of kids your age that I train, and they are boxers and they do karate and everything like that, right? And it translates good to arm wrestling. They have strong wrists, strong arms. You know, it's a good sport. When you do arm wrestling, it's good to do what you do in that fighting sports. You know, it's a good correlation, and nobody knew about it until now. I think it's the first time I mention it. Because I've encountered a lot of kids. Like I got Derek, is a boxer. Anel, he does karate. Uh, the other kid, Jadiel, he does jujitsu, and they have really strong wrists on arms
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And it's a correlation with the sports that they practice. So this is good. We're finding out that the younger generation that does fighting sports are good arm wrestlers. So that's good. That's good. That's great. So you do all these things. You go to school. Your favorite subjects are history and geography. Uh, are you planning to go to college when you finish high
Oh,
school?
yes. Yeah.
And what do you want to do when you grow up? What do you want to study when you go to college?
So I still haven't decided like 100%, but we're planning that I'm going to study law or get into policing because those two things I've been really interested in since a very young age. So I'm probably going to pick one of those.
That's really nice. Actually, what I studied in the university was that exactly that.
Oh,
I studied. I have a bachelor's in criminal investigation. I studied criminology, sociology. You
wow,
know,
that's amazing.
so yeah, we got more things in common. There you go. Uh, that's nice. That's nice to know. So you live in Canada, your whole family, but uh, you have an Indian heritage, right? So
Yes.
my question is, how do you guys or your family ended up in Canada?
Well, at a very young age, I was only 4 years old when we moved to Canada. My parents wanted to give me like a better lifestyle. So we decided to move to Canada because India was not good, like a good country to grow a kid in back then. Neither it is now. So we decided to move in Canada. And yeah,
And what does your dad do?
my dad has a business. He teaches driving and to like multiple people.
Nice, nice. Dad, if
So,
you're there, you can put your input on what you
hi
do.
there. Yep, I'm here.
This is say your name, please.
So I'm Rahul Manchanda, Iti's dad, and yes, I
So
live
what do
in
you do? What's
Waterloo.
your profession?
So I have a driving school in Waterloo itself. So I teach kids
Nice.
how to drive so that the roads can be safe.
Yeah, we need that. We need
Yep,
safer roads. Just
that's right.
last night, here in Puerto Rico, in Mayagüez, we had a really bad accident with three young kids lost their lives because one of them fell asleep, driving, and it was sad. But yes, we need safer drivers and to have safer streets.
That's
And
right.
your wife,
That's right.
what does your wife do?
My wife, she works for a IT company. The company is based in US, so she
Nice.
works for them.
So
Yeah.
so your family, it's very well established in Canada, in Ontario, in the
Oh
Ontario
yeah.
area. So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
that's nice. That's nice. So out of all the sports, I was gonna ask this. I already know the answer because obviously you like arm wrestling. But I was gonna ask you, if you liked other sports, but you already answered that, right? But out of the MMA and boxing and the things that you do, which one is the one you say you're good, better at, or you like the most?
I definitely love kickboxing the most, and I think I'm the best at that also.
Whatever she can use on me,
Nice.
she likes that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's an important question because strikers usually has strong wrists.
Yeah.
That's what I'm finding out. Like last couple of months, strikers, people that know how to throw a punch and how to hit, they have strong wrists.
True.
So we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere in that area. It's worth stopping and taking a look to people that are doing fighting sports, or young kids that are doing fighting sports, that we have parents. We don't want our kids to make a living out uh of getting kicked in the face. So at some point, if you still want to be competitive, if you still want to fight, arm wrestling is a sport that you won't get hit in the face, and you can
That's right.
still fight. You know,
That's right.
so it. I think we are touching a subject that it at some point is going to be very important, because my father is into agriculture, and he
Oh,
always told me that when the fruit in the ground is rotten, go to the tree and grab a new one. So
that's
I
right.
think we are on a stage in arm wrestling that we have to start going to schools and finding kids like Edie that can transfer what they do on fighting sports into arm wrestling. So I think we are making a great discovery about
We
how
are
to find
definitely,
talent
definitely we
for
are.
arm wrestling.
Now, even now, when she goes to school, there are people who will approach her and they talk to her about arm wrestling and stuff. She talks to them. Kids are fascinated. Okay, what is arm wrestling? How does the sport work? How can we participate? So that is, in general, it's good that people are participating. They're looking forward to it. That people want to come and grow in this sport. That's really nice.
Yeah, yeah, and it's even nicer that adults are approaching the younger kids that are doing the sport just to
Absolutely
know the sport.
true. True. Very
You
true.
know, so so that's very good. So how do you find arm wrestling, or did arm wrestling found you?
Well, ever since I was really young, I always used to arm wrestle with my dad at home. Ever since like I was 2 years old, and then
Nice.
almost a year back, actually, last December, I my dad came home from work, really tiring day, and every day, like I loved arm wrestling him every single day. And one day, I spilled coffee on him by accident because I was going to him trying to arm wrestle him, and I knocked his coffee mug over. And then my mom was like, if you're so interested in arm wrestling, why don't we find a place for you to actually train and compete? And then we found the club I train at now, Table Monkeys. So they said
Tiny
yeah,
Jason.
Jason. So he said that I can just go and compete because that a tournament going on December 16th.
16th. Yep. Which completes 1 year
So
of her arm
yeah,
wrestling career.
this 16th of December. So then we went there last year and I won second place. So ever since then, I loved arm wrestling even more and started training just for arm wrestling.
Okay, so how long have you been arm wrestling now?
Right now,
Not exactly 1 year. She'll be she'll
yeah,
be she'll be done with 1 year on 16th of December 2024.
yeah,
So you haven't been arm wrestling a year yet.
Not at all.
no,
Not at
You
all.
know, I saw a picture of you arm wrestling, and I think it was with your dad.
yeah,
Yes.
And I saw your hand and your arm. It doesn't it doesn't surprise me that you're this good, this quick, because you have like a physical gift for this sport. You know,
thank you,
That's true.
yeah,
That's true.
I just by looking at you, I saw uh the natural talents you have.
Genetics. Yep.
thank
You
you.
know,
Exactly.
and do you arm wrestle that? Have you
I do
competed?
not. I do not arm wrestle, but she's the one who
I'll
gets
get,
me.
I'm gonna get him in an arm wrestling. I want to see him destroy some people.
See, honestly saying,
Yeah,
I leave home early in the morning at 7. 7 is my first lesson when I start my day. I take people for a test. I come back home by 5:36 in the evening. Once I'm home, she's like, let's go to the gym. Once we go to the gym, once we come back, where do I have time for myself where I can train? I don't have
yeah,
time. So I need to give time to this sport, but it's just that right now we are occupied with so many things going on in life, busy working hard so that we can secure her future. So yep, arm wrestling is one of those. So I feel yes, I will get into the sport for sure, but maybe in 2025, maybe end of 2025. So let's see.
There you go. You already have a plan. You're saying
Yeah,
and you already have a plan.
she is behind me since last 4 months, but I think now I have to give it a try. So let's see.
Now, uh, it's beautiful to see kids get into the sport,
Oh yeah,
uh, because the sport has grown enough so people can find out and find the sport without having any family members doing it per se, right? And it's in our nature, it's in human nature to arm wrestle. We're gonna compete, we're gonna test ourselves, and we end up arm wrestling in tables, in the schools, and whatever. It's nature. Everybody,
that is what I
each
have
and
done.
every one of us.
That is what I have done. I have done arm wrestling
Yeah.
in my school on the table.
Yeah, so have
That
I.
is what I have done. But I never knew that I would get married to a lady and I would have a daughter who will be an arm wrestler. I had never had that thing in my mind.
You know, I'm getting emotional, like really excited because I've been in and around arm wrestling for 30 years, and I've always wanted the sport to be highlighted in how it deserves, because this is the oldest sport in history.
Oh
There
yes.
was nothing. There was nothing before this. I mean, cavemen, when there were no sports, cavemen used to arm wrestle for whatever reason,
Oh yeah.
you know. So so finally we are at a point that people can find the sport and not necessarily be related to anyone that practices sport. And in this case, like Edie, she's a young lady, and she started in the sport, and she's gonna get her family involved in it, and dad is gonna arm wrestle at some point, and maybe
Oh, yeah.
mom too. Uh, I don't know if you saw, I had a podcast a few weeks back with Thomas, and he started the same way, and now mom and dad are arm wrestling too, and his brother. It's
Yep.
a better evolution for the sport, and it's beautiful that it's bringing families together and doing things
Very
together.
true. Very true.
Yeah.
This sports gives us a lot of love. When we met Tiny, giving a little flashback about what happened with us, Tiny welcomed us, Jason, and after that, from Table Monkeys, we met a couple of people there, and they said the next tournament is going to happen in March, which will be Arm Cats by Jay Askey in Hamilton. So we went there, uh, got that, went to that. No, it was in Brantford. So we went to that tournament and we met a lot of people there. There was one of the ladies who Iti used to admire a lot, that is Sarah Wilson. And she told me out of blue that I want to talk to Sarah Wilson. Can I do it? I'm like, yeah, just go and talk. And she went and she had a talk with Sarah Wilson and she said, can I pull with you? And Sarah is like, yes, sure, why not? And they started pulling there, and that's all when it started. And she's like, Dad, I used to watch this girl on TV all time. She used to be on TV, and I used to look at that girl all day. And she's talking to me so nicely. I'm just surprised. I want to talk to her. And that's where Iti started bonding with Sarah Wilson. And after that, my wife started bonding with Sarah Wilson, and we're really close friends now. She's the one who told her how to work on her wrist and stuff, because when she pulled with Iti, she said, okay, this is what you are supposed to work on. This is what you're supposed to work on. This, you're lacking on these things, work on those things. They helped us out of nowhere. I mean, there is no personal relationship here, but if you see the arm wrestling sport altogether, that's where we all started talking about. It's family. Sarah Wilson is like a family now. Whoever we meet in this sport, people treat us as family. That is what I love the most about this sport. Joey Costello, WAF president. I don't know him at all, but when I started talking to him, I felt like he's like family. I mean, lovely sport. Jay Askey, Miguel, Ursula, excellent people, lovely people.
Yeah, I met them, Jay and Ashley, uh, Askey. I met them in Mexico this year, February,
Oh
and
yes, that's right.
and I already knew Joey and his wife and everything, but the we I met a lot, like Alex Maritzas and all
Yeah,
the guys from Team Canada, Oleg, everybody, and they are really the word I use is beautiful people.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
You know, they
Oh
treat
yes.
you and they talk to you like they have known you for years, and they are so
Oh yes.
nice. You know, it's awesome that everybody uh in the sport feels the same way. You
Oh
know,
yes.
that it's a
People
big
like
family and we all support each other.
Sarah Backman. We met her once, and my God, I mean, she's such a lovely person, so humble, and she talks so nicely. The way she tells you, okay, this is what you should work on, this is how you should start, this is what this setup should be. I mean, why would she tell me? Why would she tell her? Why? But amazing people
Yeah.
in this fraternity, excellent people. Just love to meet them every time. We went to India recently for the Asian International Cup. Even then, Joey Costello arranged everything in one day so that one person from Canada can go to India, represent Canada as a nation for Asia International Cup, and win medals there and get it back to Canada. She won gold there as well. Amazing experience. Even in India, these guys, we never knew these guys, arm wrestling people in India, because we have never been into this sport. So when we went to India, just loved the experience there and the way people were treating us again as family. Lovely sport.
The actually arm wrestling is
Oh
growing a
yes,
lot
oh
in
yes,
India, and they have their own league. I saw a friend of mine is very close with the Propanja league
yes.
that they have over there, and I love the format. Like they have a tournament, but it teams,
Oh
one
yes,
team against another team.
oh yes,
It's awesome. It's a very unique format, and
oh
I love
yes,
it. It's very
oh
interesting.
yes.
It was a great event. The one that I saw that Basil was, it was great.
There's one happening. I think they're doing a Pro
So
Panjali again in March, if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
yeah, it's been a year, almost a year. Yeah, so I think they did that event on March this year or something like that. I
Okay.
think I think they do it. They're trying to do it every year or every 2 years or something like that. You know, because
Okay.
uh it's they have teams, and I haven't. It's not that I haven't been following them, but they haven't been really active in social media. You know, so I'm sure that some kind of event from that league is going to surface soon, and it's going to be great. It was
Oh
it
yeah.
was very it was very high quality, the one that they did. But getting back
Yes.
to Edie, so you found arm wrestling because you arm wrestled your dad and you spilled the coffee,
Yeah.
and your mom said let's find an arm wrestling club, and they took you to Stable Monkeys with Tiny and all those guys, which I think it's a perfect place to begin because those guys are really knowledgeable. They know what they're doing, and
True.
and there's few people that you can identify they know how to teach this sport in a safe way. And of the few guys that I know, they are on the top of that list, right? Do you have a mentor, somebody that has worked with you, either other than your dad, on that team that has worked with you and make you better?
Okay, so when I started arm wrestling, as my dad said, Sarah Wilson gave me some tips what to do and stuff like that. So right now, currently, I get coached by Yanis. So I follow all the workout he gives me and I do everything. And yeah, that's the workout plan. And in the evening, usually I do full body workouts with my dad at the gym. So in the morning, I give time just for arm wrestling workout. And in the evening is where I do full body workout, more like CrossFit.
I wanted to talk about training because you're a young lady, and with young kids training, it's not the same as an adult or a mature person. So you're telling me you do sports, you do MMA, boxing, kickboxing, all this stuff. Okay, but you're telling me you go to the gym. What's your workout? How do you workout train related to arm wrestling?
Well, like training wise, do you mean how I train or?
Yeah, how do you divide? Like you train in the morning, at night, how many
Yeah.
sessions, what are you
What do you
doing
do in
Yeah.
the
specific
morning?
for
What do
So
you do at night?
arm wrestling, or full body, full body?
yeah, so usually early morning I wake up at around 5:30 and 6 to 7 my dad do just arm wrestling workouts given by my coach Yanis. So 1 hour, I take about 1 hour with that. And then when I come back from school in the evening, around 5, me and my dad go to the gym, and that's when we do whole body workout. So between the arm wrestling workouts and the whole body workouts, there's like a 12-hour break.
Okay. So,
Sometimes we
and you
do
do
whole
CrossFit,
body.
right?
Whole body
Yeah.
CrossFit, sometimes yoga.
Yeah.
Depends. Yeah.
Okay. This question, I do it. I ask this because you get sore when you do your arm wrestling training, and how do you
Every day.
handle it doing this CrossFit thing?
Every day, like even right now, my whole body's sore. There hasn't been a day that I haven't been sore, but I do physiotherapy. That helps me a lot with soreness.
At home,
Yeah, at home.
we have ultrasound machines. We have a lot of stuff
Yeah.
related to muscle sorenesses and stuff. Rather than taking her every
But
time for physiotherapy, we do all the treatment at home itself.
that's good. But
Yeah.
when you go to CrossFit and you had to do the pull-ups and all the stuff that you do at CrossFit, do you do something to recover, before you do that? Because I was a power lifter. I've been arm wrestling for 30 years. I've been in a power lifter champion. I know about pain. I'm in pain right now. As we speak, I'm in pain.
Me
So
too.
how do you handle it?
Usually I ice every time I'm done a workout. My mom's running with me with ice. Take your ice. So I'll be icing usually after every workout, arm wrestling workout and whole body workouts. I always ice, and that helps me a lot. And the supplements like fish oil, stuff like that, that also is pretty helpful.
Yeah, it's people take it for granted, but that fish oil, it helps. Do you
Yeah.
take vitamin D?
Yes.
Vitamin D. Yeah.
Yeah, because that thing helps with the pain.
Yeah.
And the other thing is magnesium.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's very uh simple. Those supplements that you can take to recover from the arm wrestling workouts and such are like really simple. And me having been like I've always been in strength sports. I've been bodybuilding champion, I've been powerlifting champion, and I've been arm wrestling champion. So I know about injuries and all that. And as you get older, it's really difficult to handle the pain. And at some point you learn to live with it, you know? And it's good that from the start, like you're doing now, you're already doing your protocols and all that, because uh arm wrestling is the toughest sport on a body. You know, you go from 0 to 100 in milliseconds, and the movements that we do, our bodies, specifically our arms, are not created to do them. So there's no way you will not get pain.
Yeah.
And it's good that you're learning from the start how to recover and how to treat yourself, avoiding, because at the end, when you start getting older and older and older, you will avoid the pains that I'm in. Like, look at this. It doesn't go higher.
Oh.
It does not open. This is my left arm. This is my right. It like that. Stays like that. So you avoid that, treating yourself and learning how to treat yourself,
True.
recovering and all that.
Recovery is very important.
Recovery is very important. And when you start doing it and doing your protocols and learning about it at this age, 14, 13 years old, it stays on you, and it's part of life, and it's kind of a muscle memory. You
True.
have to do it. You do it. If you don't, you feel bad, and you end up at 1 a.m. doing your stretches and all stuff. Been there, done that. So now I'm at an age that I need medicine to keep going, because it's hard. Uh, People don't really understand that the part of the body that gets the most pain, and it gets all the arm wrestling is toughest on the shoulders. It's the shoulder that takes it all, you know. And if you don't take care of them, it will they will give you problems soon. And I remember my one of my powerlifting coaches that ended up getting into arm wrestling too, Scott Mendelson. He told me when we first spoke, he told me about joints and ligaments, and he said like if they go bad, they're bad. There's no going back. If they go bad, that's it. So you have to take care of them to keep them as healthy as you can. And it's good that she knows her protocols and that you guys helped her and you know tending to her. So you are still training with table monkeys, right? That's your team.
Yes. Yeah, that's my team I train with.
That's your team with Tiny and all the guys. That's nice, nice. Good guys, good guys. Uh how do you like to train? And I mean, when you are training arm wrestling, what's your go-to? Like your wrist, your hand. How do you like to train? You know, in that
Um,
order.
I feel like more than the physical, it's about mental arm wrestling. So first, definitely the brain stuff is the most important, I feel like. Once you get over that, building your physical health is way easier. So yeah, in terms of physical, I do a lot of wrist workouts, like lots of wrist, and also lots of pronation.
Before I continue about training, you mentioned something that is really, really important, and people take it for granted. It's the mental part.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't feel that you can do it, and you know, it affects you. And I know because I've been through that. You know, the mental aspect is very important, even in training. You know, you have got to get up if you don't want to train, and you got to do things that you hate like you love. That's a Mike Tyson quote. So you do your wrist. That's your go-to. You know, this is so you can better understand my question. I'm a guy. I'm a hook guy. I'm an inside guy. I will go inside, and if that doesn't work, I will go inside. And if that doesn't work, I will go inside. So my question about training is like we see Devin and he trains really hard his pronation. He trains everything else, but his main thing is his pronation. So what you're telling me is that your thing is your wrist. That's what you concentrate to. That's your go-to.
Yeah.
And how do you work your side pressure, your pronation, your supination? In what order?
Well, my coach Yanis, he's given me each workout, so I do different workouts different days. So it's all throughout the week that I do all of them. But yeah,
5 days a week.
it's 5 days a week, and then it's also just relaxing, just blood flow workouts during the weekend with
How
bands.
do you how do you handle that? Train 5 days for arm wrestling and your other workouts. How do you?
Yeah, I usually I just fit it all in because I finish my arm wrestling workout in the morning, so the whole day I can work on my other stuff, my other sports that I do.
There are times we
And
have to tell her, stop.
yeah.
You need to rest now. The doctor says rest is very important. The recovery is very important. But no, she's back to the table again. We have a gym. We
No,
have a gym in the house. She trains there. She trains at the gym as well. Crazy.
I know the feeling. I know the feeling. Like when I train, I go to the gym and I come home and I keep training on my arm wrestling things over here. And right now, I like it's good that you have a coach because you can be the best athlete in the world and you
Yeah,
cannot coach yourself.
Yeah.
You
true.
were either overtrained or undertrained, you know?
Absolutely.
And that's what I'm at right now. I'm overtrained and the pain and you know the recovery because I'm an adult. You know, I have kids, I got job, I got all that stuff. You know, and it's hard to fit it all in. And I end up going into late nights training. You know, and I don't sleep that well. That's why I'm asking you about your schedule and all that, and it's good that you have being so young, you have like, okay, this is how I do things, and and it's good that you have a coach, and you're not the first arm wrestler, young arm wrestler that I've spoken to that Janice has been or is their coach. So I know a lot of kids from Latin America, Costa Rica, and other countries in Latin America that Yanis is their coach. So uh, he's very respected. As a coach
For
and
sure,
as an
yeah.
arm wrestler. The nickname he has, the Jedi. It to
That's true,
me
actually.
to me it doesn't talk about how he looks. It talks about his personality. He's a Jedi,
He is
serious guy. You know, everything is in line, everything is organized. Just uh, he's a great man. I love him. I love him. It's we need more arm wrestlers like him.
Yeah, he's
definitely,
amazing.
definitely.
Yeah,
We
he's
might we
amazing.
might get many, but no one can replace Giannis.
Yeah.
He is the
Yeah,
best.
yeah. I was gonna ask you about your favorite thing to do. Like, what's your favorite lift uh in arm wrestling?
Favorite lift in arm wrestling? Or can I just like say a favorite workout in general for arm wrestling?
Since you're training with Yanis, I know the way he does things, and you wouldn't be able to answer the question. So yes, you can answer with your workout
Okay. Um, so in my workouts, I love deadlifts. Those were my favorite.
deadlifts. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. I tell my dad I want to do it every day, but I of course
No, the question is,
cannot.
what about the arm wrestling thing? Which one do you like the most?
Pronation lift?
Okay.
No, but
Yeah, I would say.
it's deadlift. Deadlift is an arm wrestling lift. People don't
Yeah,
really see it like
deadlift.
that, but it
Yeah,
is.
deadlift is just like for regular gym. And in arm wrestling lifts, I like pronation and rising, the rise lift. Those two are probably my
Because
favorite
that is
ones.
what she was weak at.
Yeah.
Yeah. And being from Canada, everybody trains their riser under pronation, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. All the time you're on the table, all I can hear is each one is telling the opponent, rise, 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 rise. That's all is going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know. Maybe your dad knows about this, but this great strong man that said there is no reason to be alive if you cannot do deadlift.
1,005 pounds.
To be alive if you can't do that.
Ever the showman. He really is incredible.
And it was John Paul Sigmarsson from Iceland. Uh, he died. He died really young. Uh, 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 he was squatting and he had a heart attack squatting. But that was he's saying. There's no reason to be alive if you cannot do deadlifts. So deadlifts, yes, deadlifts is the way to go. Actually, I believe I'm a right hand dominant, right? But for many years, my left hand was killing everybody. Nobody could beat me left-handed, you know. But I think that it was because it was my underhand when I deadlifted. So I think there's a correlation with
Oh,
that.
wow.
So
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
uh,
That's cool.
I would like to introduce you so you can research after the show when you have free time to Westside Barbell and Louis Simmons and the conjugate method.
Okay.
Uh, Me being a powerlifter, I know about Westside and Louis and how they train and how they know how to get strong. And my favorite arm wrestler is Todd Hutchins, and he developed a way to use that conjugate method into arm wrestling.
Oh
But
wow.
seeing and knowing that you do a lot of sports and you train and you take it very seriously, you should read about the findings of Louis Simmons in training, in especially heavy training. you know, because if you want to keep healthy, you got to be strong. And if you want to be strong, you got to live heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to live heavy. And they found, like, Louis found a way to do that and always live heavy, not backing down and keeping healthy, you know. And I'm going to send you some links and some videos. You know, Louis pretty hardcore. You know, he has that little video in YouTube. I mean, he died like 2 years ago. He was 70 something years old. And he had a video about saying that the greatest movie of all time, it wasn't Gone with the Wind. It was the Shogun Assassins. And I won't tell you anything about it. I'll send it to you, and you're gonna watch it, and you're gonna go like, oh, you know, he's really intense, really intense.
Mhm.
But to us arm wrestlers, it's good to know the findings of the conjugate method in training and training heavy. So let's talk about your career. You haven't been a year arm wrestling. How many tournaments have you done?
Over 15, I would say.
Easy.
Easily.
Easy.
Yeah.
Over
Easily
what?
over 15. Yeah, over 15.
15?
Yeah,
Yep.
easily over 15. Yeah.
Okay. Out of those 15 tournaments, tell me about that first tournament. How did it go?
My first ever tournament at Table Monkeys, there was only 3 people and I got second. I was pretty happy. Like when I knew there were only 3 people, I was happy because I'd go home with the medal. But of course, I wouldn't want third place, right? Out of 3 people. So I tried getting second. And that time it was like a tough fight for second place. And I did it. And when I got second, I was like, arm wrestling is a sport for me. So ever since then, I'm improving.
So that first tournament, it happens to all of us. When we go to a first tournament, we don't get to arm wrestle a lot, and that's good. We are lucky. That the people that get that first tournament, that they don't have a arm wrestle a lot in that first tournament, are lucky because they get to experience it and not hurt themselves. Like in my first tournament, I broke my arm. So
Oh.
no,
Wow.
it didn't break because I was in a bad position. I got injured because I was so tired. I arm wrestled like 16 times. You know, because back then in Puerto Rico, arm wrestling was a bigger thing than it is now, and tournaments had like well over 1,000 competitors. You know, and you had to arm wrestling a lot. You know, and it's good. It's good that first tournament you get out of it happy. You know, and I love that mentality that Iti has. Like if you get a gold medal alone, you didn't win it.
Yep.
You got to arm wrestle somebody or do something. You
That's
cannot
right.
win alone. Cannot win alone. So after that tournament, how did it go with the other tournaments?
With the other tournaments, I was losing actually a lot. I just kept losing and I got pretty upset few times, of course, but then I started working out really hard to beat the people which were beating me. And now I'm able to do that and I see my improvement I've made throughout an year. So that's gonna keep growing and I'm gonna keep improving hopefully. And yeah.
Yeah, a lot of losses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of losses in the beginning.
Yeah.
I think March was the lift, right? Picton was the lift.
Yeah, Picton where I beat Habry Larrett. That was really fun. And ever since then.
Oh, so you were that girl.
Height, Avery, height. Go, and we're going.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's that girl. She's that girl.
I was like,
There you go.
who's that girl? And Avery has been arm wrestling since she got out of the womb and she started arm wrestling.
That's right.
Mhm.
Everyone
Yeah.
was shocked in Picton when she won. Everyone was shocked.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm shocked. I'm like, Whoa.
I was shocked. I was shocked.
Like, whoa. Because Avery is a really good arm wrestler, you know, and obviously she has the talents and the she has it on her blood and everything, you know, and there's something about the name
There is.
Larrett that gives
Definitely.
you extra
Definitely.
side pressure or something,
Definitely.
you know.
Definitely.
So
Strong
so
genetics.
yeah, that's a great win. That's a great win for you. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
that's awesome. It was
It was like an
yeah,
actual full-on arm wrestling tournament. Yeah.
yeah. I remember. I remember. Yeah, it's an every year thing, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing about Canada. They don't have like over there. You guys don't have like 100 tournaments every weekend, but you have the tournaments that you have. You do it every year, and there it's
Yes.
constant. It's constant, you know. And everybody in not everybody has that, you know. At least in America, not everybody has that. And I think that's why they call it Canadian arm wrestling. So the biggest tournaments, the biggest competitions you have had.
Michigan.
The biggest competition I would say was at
Asian Cup. Yeah.
Asian International Cup. There were tough girls there. And then some of them where I pulled with women, like twice my age, who have been training for like 10 years. Those ones were also pretty tough. Yeah, I don't, yeah, most of those.
And what would you say to this date is your biggest accomplishment? The thing you feel the most proud of you've done in arm wrestling.
Right now, I would say my biggest one was the Asian International Cup. When I won that, I got really emotional because I've been training for that for a long time now. Since I heard of that, I really wanted to win that one. So I was really happy to win that, and that was my biggest one for sure.
So I imagine it must be special because you went there representing Canada and you won,
Yeah,
and you have your cultural and you're Indian. You went to your country and you won in front of your home crowd, you know, because
yeah,
you're from there, you know. So it must have felt great. And I always say that to an athlete, the biggest reward you can have is to represent your country. And if you make it to the podium, to have your flag with you is the greatest feeling in the world. And nothing, not a trophy, not a medal, not money, makes you feel better. That feeling. So I congratulate you for that. It's a big achievement, a big achievement. And you're gonna be proud of that for many years. Because of the situation, you know, and it's amazing. It's amazing that you got to do that and win, you know, right off the bat, and not even being a year in sport. So
yeah.
now I want to talk about your dimensions. Let me see your hand because I think you got big hands.
Not that big. They're like
Yeah,
They
but
are
I
big.
I, I
They
feel
are
I
big.
feel like how tall are you?
I'm about like 5'6".
5'6". But from what I see, you have your arms are perfect for arm wrestling.
Yeah,
Like
I have long
they're
arms.
long.
Yeah,
Yeah. And for being a 14-year-old girl, you got long arms and big hands,
yeah,
you know. And I know that I'm wrestling other women that may have 10 years in the sport. They don't have your hands and arms, and you're still growing, so you can still get stronger and better.
yeah,
There are times that when she goes on the table, she holds the hand and she'll give me a look. And that's when I understand, okay, that's her game. And I'm just do whatever you want. So we have that father and daughter bonding where we understand each other that okay, this is going to happen. And I understand, okay, she'll be winning easy. I understand
Okay,
from the gesture.
so okay, who wins out of 10? Out of 10 matches between you two, who wins?
Between me and her,
Yeah.
Well, I would like to say me, but Currently, he does, but hopefully by the end of 2025, I would.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
You would. You would.
John Bersenk has a story of his dad, and he said that when he started arm wrestling, he always wanted to beat his dad, and he finally beat his dad like at 18 years old, and he never lost to him again, and he
Wow.
never lost the tournament ever after that. So that's a good goal. That's a good goal. That's a good omen, and I'm excited about this interview. I'm really excited about this young lady doing her thing, and how she has gotten so good in so little time. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. So I want to talk to you about your experience in the sport, other than arm wrestling. We already talked about how the community has received you and have they treated you and your family, but I know you have had a couple of interviews with the radio and TV shows and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Well, they used to see my Instagram profile and all the things I've achieved. And then they were like, okay, we would love to meet her. So bring her over, or we could come there and ask some questions and do an interview. So that's kind of how it started. And there's still like some more people who want to do some interviews with me. So that's also going to be happening probably in the few upcoming weeks or months.
But I want to say something. This young lady is a really good arm wrestler. And the people that we have on top right now, they're going to get old. And at some point, they're going to disappear. And this young lady is, getting better and better and getting up and up in the rankings. And at some point, all those famous people are not going to be that famous anymore. And this girl is going to take that spot. And they're going to say she was on this show first, on this podcast first. So I'm honored, and I'm really happy that I've had this opportunity with many people, that were relatively unknown, and I had them on the show because I saw something in them. The frame of mind that she has, it's the key to success, and I love that she's getting the attention she deserves at this young age, because this is part of your training, part of your preparation for what you're working for. You got to be able to handle your training, your personal life, the attention you're going to get, and those interviews. How did that make you feel? Those people interview you. Did the interviews were just related to arm wrestling, or they dig into you like I just did, talking about school and everything like that?
Well, most of the interview people I've been with just ask me stuff related to arm wrestling and my other hobbies, and just few things here and there about my family. But the main focus of most of my interviews are just arm wrestling related.
So it's good that you are attracting the attention to yourself and to the sport. It's awesome. It's awesome. But now, besides the community and training and all that, what's your favorite thing about arm wrestling?
Favorite thing about arm wrestling would be when the hard work pays off on the table. Like when you know you're losing to that person and you've been losing for such a long time, so you train hard and then you're going and beating that person is like a thing I wait for and look up to that time, and then beating that person, it's an amazing feeling because you know your hard
Awesome.
work paid off. So
Awesome. That's the value, the reward.
yeah.
That's how you know you're doing good. That's how you know you're on the right track. That's how you know, and that's right there, listening to our and sharing this interview with us. That has to be feeling really, really proud of you, because like you're 14 years old and you're really mature into this thing that we call arm wrestling, right?
I would like to say something here. Last 6 months, she did not eat even a single sweet because she wanted to cut down. Being a 13-year-old, we used to feel bad. Come on, eat something, eat some sweet. It's okay, eat. It's okay, eat. Nope. She did not eat for 5.5 months. for the Asia International, and there was one more tournament. She wanted to be below that 150 lbs mark, and she did not eat sweet. And from I think 72 and a half kgs, she
Yeah.
came down to 67. A 13-year-old girl. That's when me and my wife we realized, we are like, okay, we can't do this,
This
but
is
I think
serious.
she is a sports person, and let her do whatever she wants. Let her do what she wants.
Yeah,
She knows what she's doing. So that's
your dad
maturity.
is right. Your dad is right. The people that do that are the ones that are built for this. Not everybody. That's a sacrifice.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
and I got goosebumps. When you sacrifice yourself, your body, because you want to achieve a goal, it hypes you up. It's that it's living that motivation reels you see on social media. You're living it, your own flesh. You know,
Yeah.
it's a really, really great experience that you're having now, and I love to hear the stories of these young kids that are doing that. I didn't do that when I was that age.
Yep.
I wasn't thinking like that.
There was once we were talking, and when she used to feel that she wants to eat something which is not in her diet, that is when me and my wife used to tell her that, okay, for an athlete, your vision should be just like this. This should be your vision. And your vision at the end, that should be a gold medal on the other side. Things will happen on the side, but just forget, don't ignore that. Your vision should be a tunnel vision and see the gold medal on the other side. Forget everything else.
Exactly. You have a goal, and you gotta grind and grind and grind to achieve it. To achieve it,
Yep.
and to you, I say, you got a gold, an Olympic gold medal coming your way.
Hopefully
You know,
this sport gets into Olympics.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah.
yeah. And actually, I not everybody knows this. The work I've done for arm wrestling in Puerto Rico. It's to make it a professional sport and a serious sport and organized sports. And I have meetings with government officials. I work for the government. I have meetings with government officials. I have meetings with the president of the Olympic Committee here in Puerto Rico, and
Wow.
and 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 having all these meetings with all these people, I found out stuff that I didn't know about the Olympics or sports. Like, if you have a country that they have a sport that they like, and they do it, and it's a, let's say, a national sport, and it's really organized and all that stuff, and you're gonna be having the Olympics in your country. If you want that sport to be on those Olympics, you can have it, you know.
True.
And in the Olympic Pan American Games in 2027, they're gonna be in Lima, Peru, and Peru is that country that loves arm wrestling and is
Brother.
really organized. And arm wrestling is going to be part of the Pan American Games, Olympic Pan American Games in Lima, Peru in 2027.
Wow.
So I guess we're all going to meet there.
Oh, definitely. We,
Because
we, we'll be
it,
definitely
it, it
seeing you
would
in Bulgaria.
yeah, it would be a big thing, because after that, in Los Angeles 2028, arm wrestling is going to be at the Paralympics,
Okay.
and the we expect that arm wrestling will be an Olympic sports by 2032.
Wow. Okay.
That's what we expect. That's what has been said. Uh, like I told you, I found out stuff that not everybody knows, because I have these meetings with the government officials that deal with this kinds of stuff, and
Okay.
and Sara, the president of the Olympic Committee here in Puerto Rico, she told me, about how the for different kinds of reasons, the Olympics are dropping sports, and they are looking to fill those spots, and they are dropping sports and getting sports back, and they made the mistake of putting breakdancing in the Olympics. And come on, Come on, you're gonna have breakdancing, but not arm wrestling. Come on, you know. So, so I think that was good that they had breakdancing because everybody's come on. You had breakdancing. You're not gonna have arm wrestling. Come on. You know, we have an organization that has been since 1977. The has organized the world. You know, not everybody's not perfect, and not every organization is perfect, but the WAF has been there always. You know, and 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 they are the ones that are recognized by the Olympic Committee,
Okay.
and they are the one that are gonna run this. You know, and I'm happy. I'm happy that by 2032 we're gonna be on the Olympics.
That's going to be fantastic.
So, what are your future plans? Okay, but first, what's so funny? But she was kind of smiling or something. Edie.
My dog is going crazy there because he thought someone was at the door. So I was just watching him.
That's okay because I'm right here talking with you, and my pit bull is going crazy over here. She's
You have
running
a pit
around.
bull? That's so
Yeah, I
cool.
have a pit bull. She's a crazy pit bull. She's a red nose pit bull. She's crazy.
Oh. Oh.
But you got your dog right there.
Boy,
Do you have a
Yeah.
pit bull too?
Come up here. Come up. Come.
Right?
Yep.
They don't know how. If that's a pit bull, they don't know how to play.
Go up.
They're like Mike Tyson.
Here he is.
Oh, that's a poodle.
Yep, golden
Yeah.
doodle.
That's a nice dog. But you know, dogs are like children nowadays.
Yeah.
So what's his name?
Leo.
Leo. Welcome to the podcast, Leo. You can say hi. It's
Hi.
like looking. Anyway, your future plans, Edie.
So in 2025, I'm going to Bulgaria for WAF, the Worlds. And I'm hoping to get top 3 there. After Bulgaria, we'll see how things go and carry on from there. But right now, my main focus is training for
It's
Bulgaria.
focusing on worlds.
Yeah, and I hope to see you there.
Well, I hope to be there too because I have like we have the North American Championships like in a couple of months.
Yeah.
Then we have Argentina, the Pan Am Championships in Argentina, and I'm trying to organize stuff here in Puerto Rico to do some stuff over here, and hopefully it's by August, right?
Yeah. September. Worlds of September.
September. Well,
Yeah.
I wanted to go to the Ottawa Open this year, and I forgot about it.
Oh.
I forgot. I remember when I saw a history that Devin played that okay, Ottawa Open is better late than never. I was like, oh God, I forgot about it.
Yeah.
And I didn't go. So I was thinking on going next year, but if Worlds are in September, yeah, we have to make the trip. We have to make the trip to Worlds, and hopefully we can. But it's good that you are picking that as your goal and you're working towards it because the competition level over there it's really high, you know.
Yeah.
And you know there's a difference between Europe and America, you know, and the difference is in Europe they've always have kids like you that start really young and they get really good really fast and they keep doing it. In America, it's being born now. It's happening now. Young kids, young ladies that are doing this really young and are getting good at it, and they are working towards it, and they are taking it seriously because we can say whatever we want about why America is behind in this sport, right? We can say whatever we want, but the truth is that it was never a serious sport. You talked about arm wrestling. You think about a bar, a restaurant, you know, something that it's not family friendly, you know, stuff like that, alcohol stuff, you know, and that's the difference that we had. Now it's all changing,
Yeah.
and it's
For sure.
changing. It's changing thanks to you guys because the more people your age that get involved, you know, you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's going on a way bigger scale now than it's ever been.
Yeah. And we have to thank a lot of like we have to thank everybody. I always stay away from the drama and negativity, but even that we gotta thank that because that has brought attention to the sport in many ways, and 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 we are getting we have the attention now, and it's good. Now we have to evolve, and like I was talking with Odin, we have to make it a clean sport. We have to make it family friendly, so the big sponsors start pouring in. And we are doing it, and we're doing a good job. There, nothing is perfect. We always hit bumps down the road, but we keep going. We keep going, and we keep working towards our goals. That it's making arm wrestling great, as should be. You know, now, I want to ask you, I'm going off the record now. What has your toughest opponent to this date?
My toughest opponent. I don't know who my toughest opponent would be, but few teen girls I would love to have a super match with would be Camille's daughter. I believe her name is Julia. Yeah, that I would look forward to that. If that's a match. That would be amazing. Looking forward to that one. And Rob Vigent, RVJ's daughter, Gabby, I believe her name is. That would be a pretty good match also. At the beginning, like when I started arm wrestling, I was like, oh my god, Habry would be a great super match. But now I beat her, so I'm gonna go on like a higher level. So Camille's daughter for sure would be a great level.
You know, uh, one of those guys that I identified and nobody knew about him was Camille. And I did this show with him. We talked
Yeah.
about a lot of stuff, and he called out all the opponents he wanted to face, and he has faced them all to this day. So
Wow.
if you have a message to Camille's daughter, you can say it now because I'm sure he will see it.
Well, Julia, I'm looking forward to pulling with you one day. So I hope you accept it and pull with me. It'll be a great match.
Yeah, because they are two young, strong ladies,
Yep.
and 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 she's kind of a big girl too. She's tall. I think she's taller than you.
Yeah.
So it would be a great match, and it's very possible. So, and the other girl is it's Rob Pigeon Jr., which I do have a close relationship with Rob too. So, and his girl is really I saw a picture of her yet I think yesterday or today. She is ripped,
Mm-hmm.
and she must be tall because she does volleyball and stuff.
Yep.
So she must be tall. So that would be a great match too.
For sure.
Because this is how I see it. We got three different girls with three different backgrounds. We got a girl that's her base is fighting sports and arm wrestling. We got Rob Bijan's daughter that is mostly like volleyball, basketball stuff, and arm wrestling. And Camille's daughter that she doesn't practice any other sports for arm wrestling that I know of. So if you picture it like that and you say it like that, it sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
Because we have three different backgrounds for three different arm wrestlers that are about the same age.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. I will, as soon as I end this show, I will text them both, and I'll let you know what they say.
Sounds
Uh,
good.
I know. Uh, I got the ball rolling with Thomas and Fernando Cari, the Peruvian kid that lives in New Jersey, and Thomas from Canada. I got the ball rolling, and I know there are two big promotions interested in making that match happen.
Nice.
And I hope and everything is lined up. Fernando and Thomas have plans practically for the same date. So if anything, the match will happen, it had to be like after that. So everything is lined up. I hope they reach an agreement with the promotions. I both of I don't want to say publicly, but both of the promotions are new and very serious and very well respected. And I know both promoters and they are good people. So I hope they can reach an agreement to make that match happen. And I hope those same promotions would pick up this hype for Rob's or Camille's daughter
Iti.
to have a
It's
super
yeah.
match. For future plans, you're concentrating in Worlds, but maybe on the road to Worlds, you can have a super match or two with some girls that are your age. And let me ask you something. Uh, how do you do against this the ASCII girl,
Ursulaski?
Oh,
Ursula? Yeah,
Oh no, definitely no. I cannot beat her yet.
not
she's not
yet.
there. No, not
No,
there
not
yet.
yet.
Ursula is way
Uh,
higher.
yeah, and let me think about other ones that I know. I know. I would have loved for you to have gotten to Mexico this year because there were two Mexican girls and two Mexican girls, two American girls, and one from Chris from Costa Rica. And I would have loved to see you pull up against the Mexicans. There's two strong, good girls, and they are about your age. You're 14. They just turned 18 now, so there's not a big difference between age. So it would have been good. So uh, we have a big event just a week and a half or 2 weeks from now, the king of the table. I'm gonna ask Edie who wins, Levon or Jerry. And I want and I
Levon.
want I want I want you to whoever you say is gonna win, I want you to tell me why.
Well, as we all know, Levon is the best, and I think this would be Levon's match. He's got body weight, he's got everything, I feel like, to win this match.
So I'm gonna take a turn here. To me, uh I'm always with the underdog. Always. I always root for the underdog. I don't care if they're gonna lose. I always root for the underdog, right? But I think Jerry can do it.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
think Jerry can do it, and I want to tell you why. And this is where the conversation is gonna get interesting. It's like Levon is not used pulling big guys. He's not used pulling big guys. Like all his opponents, uh, in this Levon era, this era which he has dominated, uh, undoubtedly, he has never faced an a big guy. Like the heaviest guy he faced was Hermes, and Hermes was 293,
Yeah.
right? But now we got Jerry Calore, who has always been over 300 pounds, who is 51 years old and has pulled everybody. He has beaten Cliff Dean, John Bersenk, everybody. And he's training and he's going to get in shape and he's going to be bigger to
Yeah.
face Levant. So you are an arm wrestler. You know that when you touch hands, the weight, the body weight, you feel it right there in their hand. Levant is not used to grip up with anybody that's over 300 pounds because he doesn't have that big guys that big to train with.
Mm-hmm.
And if
Yeah.
he has any, they are way below the level they have.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this because I think this is all the factors that play in favor of Jerry. And and if we're gonna quote the greatest American arm wrestler, Todd Hutchins, I'm just a big fan of Todd. I'm sorry. Uh, 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 a top rope beats a hook. uh, a hook beats a press, but the press beats the top roll. And nobody says this, but Levon is a top roller.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Mm-hmm.
So if you saw in the match with Hermes, when Levon top rolled and Hermes stopped him, he got into trouble because if he needs to reload to hit again, he has to come up and
Yeah.
he has to lift 420 pounds from
Yeah.
down there,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you know, I don't know. I'm thinking Jerry can do it.
What do you think about the female match? Barbara versus Gabby? I'm really looking forward to that one.
Who do you have?
It's gonna be a really tough match for sure, and Gabby's gonna come back way prepared after like their previous match. But I think Barbara.
You know, Gabby has been arm wrestling for a lot of years,
Yeah.
and she's not a young lady, and she is tough. She's a good friend. She's tough. She's strong, but she's living through those pains and aches that we get when we get older. You know, and with the first time she pulled Barbora, she was really hurting. Like a month before, I saw her arm wrestling in Las Vegas, and she arm wrestled my friends of mine, and she like pulled for a little bit, but she was in a lot of pain, and at some point she had to stop. A month and a half after, she was pulling Barbora, and she was beating her. But I know Gabi, it's maybe everyone's favorite, but I think we are in the Barbora era,
Yeah.
and I don't think right now nobody has a chance to beating that woman.
Oh yeah.
That's has big. She's like 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah.
You
Wow.
know,
She's like
Do
giant.
you know? Do you know how tall Gabi is?
She's like 5'2". Isn't she like 5'2",
4'11".
5'1"? Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So she's really little, and if she gains weight, it's you know, and it's I used to be 330 pounds, and I was that heavy, I arm wrestled really far from my arm because of all the mass I had, and that's what's happening with Gabby.
Yeah.
She's too thick, you know, and maybe in the first few rounds that would play in favor of her, but at the end of the day, it would end the same way because Barbora's arm is really long, and that back pressure, we're only human, you know. And
Yeah.
even though I would love to see Gabby get her revenge, and I would bet my money on Gabby, but I think we are in the Barbora era, you
Yeah.
know,
Yep. I agree with that.
and she's gonna be dominant for a long while. I mean, we saw her pull Devon and give him problems, So I think I'm agreeing with you here. It's even though my heart is with Gabby, I don't see, it would be Gabby would have to be really, 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 really healthy to be able to pull it off, and her elbows would have to be able to handle the stress of Balbora's top roll and back pressure. And even though she's the king of side pressure, uh, uh, like approved by Todd Hutchins, it would be hard, because the size difference. And I know Gabby has taken a lot of time off just to concentrate on that match. So I'm gonna be with you on that one. That I think Barbora will take.
Yeah.
It's a reality. It's a reality. So talking about that, who's your favorite arm wrestler?
Um, I love Sarah Backman. Yanis, of course, he's the best. And Fia Rysik. and Dimitriana Petrova. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. These are some people I really look up to.
I love it when I ask that question and people don't say Devin, John, and start telling all their names, you know, and I love when that happens because I know they're into the sport. They don't just follow the hype, you know.
Yeah, they're pretty cool as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I know they're cool, but you know, it's like me. I've been 30 years in the sport, and my favorite arm wrestler. Okay, John is John, you know, and
Yeah.
we all like Devin. But my favorite arm wrestler is Todd Hutchins because he I you know I identify with his frame of mind, the way he trains, the way he pulls. You know, we I mean we don't pull the same, but I feel like we go for the same thing. You know, and we just keep going. You know, so
There is different. There is
now
difference between arm wrestling and entertainment. So we prefer arm
yes.
wrestling, not entertainment.
Yes, and I was watching Devin's video the other day when the interview he did with Artem, and he was saying that he did not agree with Todd when Todd said excellence over victory. But I get what Todd wants means when he says that. You know, excellence over victory is even if you lose, it doesn't mean you're not the best. You know, shit happens, you know, and we are human, you know, and he arm wrestles a center when he doesn't argue with the refs. He's very professional. He's very quiet. He just goes there. He does the works and arm wrestling. That's what he means by that. So
That is what we like.
Yeah.
yeah. So any final message from Edie to the other girls that might be watching that you would want them to hear from you?
I would love to encourage other young girls, especially, get into arm wrestling. It's not just amazing sport, but it also keeps you like really healthy and fit overall. It makes you strong for sure, and it's really fun. People you meet are the kindest. Yeah.
But not only young girls, more mature women can get into the sport because you see this little girl, she's arm wrestling. Why don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, in Puerto Rico has been really hard to get females to arm wrestle, you know? It
There's
has been
something
hard.
there's something I'd like to show. This
Yeah.
quote, which I also really like. Can you read that?
Yeah.
I can
You
read it.
don't lose when you get knocked down. You lose if you stay down.
Yeah,
Muhammad Ali.
that's the thing I believe in. That's pretty true.
It's awesome that this young girl uh has that to look at because that's a hero from another time,
Yeah.
from a time that made things to last, and from a time that everything was good and the world was simpler, you
Yeah.
know. And in simplicity we can find success,
True.
you know. Hard work, like it is doing, getting up at 5:30 in the morning, doing your workout, getting off school, doing your workout, doing your meal, recovering. That is excellence, you know.
100%. She's
And
giving 100%. And we are giving more than 100%. That's what is happening. I can't show you my house. If I
yeah,
show you my house, we have gym at the in on the first floor. We have punching bag on the second room, on the second floor.
send
We
me
have
send me some pictures.
I will do that. I'll
Send
do
me
that.
some pictures. I do good edits when I do this. If you have seen other podcasts, I do good edits. Uh, and I will include them in
Definitely.
this video, exactly in this part. So uh I want to ask everyone that has made it to this part of the show to follow Edie's journey in arm wrestling. Go to social media, to Facebook, to Instagram, and follow can you say your profiles in Instagram? How can they find you?
Oh, you can just search my first name and my last name. So that would be like ITIMANCHANDA.
And on Facebook too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just look Iti Manchanda,
Oh, that's
Iti
perfect.
Manchanda,
That's
and
perfect.
you will find her, and you will see and see what she does, a couple of her matches, and all the stuff. But give her a like, a follow. If you can drop a message supporting her, it would be awesome. And accompany this family on their arm wrestling tournament, because this is an arm wrestling family. And in a month, I have had in this show 2 arm wrestling families, and I'm really proud to say that. Seeing how arm wrestling is bringing together families, it's amazing. And I hope this keeps happening and happening over and over and over. And people get together and in something that is good. you know
Nice.
Anything else you want to add to this show? Anything you want to share, you want to say? Any weird stories?
Um, no, I feel like that would be it. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for having me. It was amazing.
No, i'm honored I'm honored to have you, Edie. And I'm proud to say, I'm the first podcast you've done, and I hope that it filled your expectations. I had 2 pages of questions for you. I hope I've created a space where people can get to know you for who you are, plus the arm wrestling part of it. Because when you get to know the people, you get closer to them, and you start to follow them more personally, and everything grows. Everything follows. You know. So I would like to thank you for accepting the invitation, for being here, Dad. You're doing a great job with your daughter
Thank you so much.
and your
Thank
wife
you.
too. You're a great family. I will pray for you and wish all good things for you,
Thank
and
Thank you.
success for Edie. And I will help you in anything that I can. I will help you. I um I have earned the respect and the love of people in the community that make things happen. And sometimes my opinion matters. And if I can do anything for you, that has my phone number. Just text me, and I will move mountains to help you in every way I can. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank
So
you.
I wish you the best. I know you will become world champion next year in Bulgaria, and I hope to see you compete in person. And I will be one of the guys that will high five you when you win.
Yes, for
Thank you.
sure. Thank you.
So thank you very much. Please subscribe to Pulseo TV, share this program, this show, so everybody, like, it keeps sharing it, and everybody can know the story of Edie and her family in this sport. And I would like to thank you again for being here, and thank you everybody that is watching. We will see you in the next show. We can do a little flex right now, right there. Oh, you got to flex. Do your arm wrestling flex.
I have I have my hoodie on.
There you go. There you go. There you go. That has a flex. Anyway, see you next show. Have a good time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Pleasure being a part. Thank you. Thank you so much.